The scorching sun of Ouagadougou hung heavy over the capital that afternoon. President Ibrahim Traoré had just finished an unannounced visit to a small community school. His convoy stood waiting, engines purring softly at the curb, when something unusual caught his eye. There, against a crumbling wall on the roadside, sat a man almost invisible to the world. His hair was uneven and streaked with gray, his clothes torn and soiled. A rusty tin cup rested before him, ignored by passers-by who walked past as though he were part of the pavement. His shoulders slumped, his eyes hollow. He was the picture of despair. Ibrahim frowned. Something about that face tugged at his memory. He told his guards to wait. His voice was calm but firm, an order no one dared question. He stepped closer. The man raised his head, squinting against the glare. His lips trembled. "Ibrahim," he whispered, his voice breaking. The president's chest tightened. "Musa!" The gaunt figure tried to rise, his knees buckling beneath him. "It's really you." Ibrahim took his arm, steadying him. The recognition was undeniable. Once, Musa had been full of life. Now, he was a shadow of that man. "My brother," Ibrahim said softly. "What happened to you?" Tears filled Musa's eyes. "It's a story I never imagined telling you. At least not like this." "Then come with me," Ibrahim replied. Musa shook his head, glancing down at his bare feet and torn shirt. "I can't, not like this. I'm not fit to step into your car." "You're my friend," Ibrahim said firmly. "That's what matters." And so, within the hour, Musa found himself in the presidential residence. He bathed. He dressed in clean clothes. He sat before steaming dishes of food. He ate slowly, almost fearfully, as if the meal might vanish if he moved too quickly. Gratitude and shame flickered in his eyes. When the plates were cleared, Ibrahim poured 2 glasses of juice and leaned forward. "Tell me, you were one of the brightest men I knew. What happened?" Musa stared into his glass, his voice low. "It began 3 years ago." Musa had been a respected school principal in Bobo de Olasso. From years of savings, he had built a modest home. He had married Stella, a woman he thought would share his dreams. "At first we were happy," he said. "Or so I believed. But slowly, she grew distant, always on her phone, irritable over little things. I thought it was stress. I ignored the signs." His voice cracked. "One afternoon, I came home early, and I found her with another man. In our bed." Ibrahim's jaw tightened. "What did you do?" he asked. "I walked out," Musa whispered. "I was trembling. I couldn't fight." She didn't even apologize. She followed me outside and told me it was over. She said the house was his now, that I should leave. Ibrahim clenched his fists. "Leave the house you built with your own hands?" "Yes." Musa's eyes darkened with bitterness. "I refused. She dragged me to court, claimed she paid for it, produced forged documents. The judge sided with her. I was thrown out of my own home." Ibrahim's face hardened. "And your work?" "I lost that too. All my savings drained into lawyers' fees. Nothing remained. No home, no income, no dignity. I stayed briefly with a friend, but shame consumed me. I left. Soon I was on the streets, sleeping under bridges, surviving on scraps. Once a day, if I was lucky, I'd eat. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her laughing with him." He bowed his head, tears slipping down. "I became a shadow. I wanted to die, Ibrahim. Truly, I wanted to die." Silence hung heavy in the room. Then Ibrahim rose, his voice firm but gentle. "Musa, you did not deserve this, and your story will not end here. I promise you." Musa lifted his head, disbelief flickering in his gaze. "You still call me your friend, after seeing me like this?" Ibrahim's eyes softened. I never stopped. That night, Musa slept in comfort for the first time in years. The next morning, he awoke to the smell of warm bread and eggs. He touched the clean sheets, the folded clothes, scarcely believing it was real. Later, in the garden, Ibrahim joined him in simple clothes. His presence was calm yet commanding. "Musa, your story broke my heart," he said. "I never meant to bring my troubles into your home," Musa murmured. "You didn't bring trouble. You brought truth. And truth must lead to action." "Action?" Musa asked hesitantly. "I've made arrangements. This morning, you'll see a doctor. Then, there's somewhere I want to take you." By afternoon, Musa had been examined, given medicine, and even received his first haircut in years. The reflection staring back from the mirror was no longer the broken man from the roadside. His eyes carried a faint spark. Ibrahim then drove him to the edge of the city, stopping before a small cream-color house with a neat garden. "It's beautiful," Musa whispered. "Whose home is this?" "It's yours," Ibrahim replied with a smile. Musa's voice shook. "This is too much. It's paid in full. No one can take it away from you." Tears welled in Musa's eyes. Why would you do this for me?" Ibrahim looked at him steadily. "Because I remember who you are. You gave me books when I had none. You defended me when no one else would. You believed in me before I believed in myself. I haven't forgotten. And now, I'm returning that gift." Inside, the home was warm and welcoming. A living room, a bright bedroom, even a small office with a bookshelf. Ibrahim continued, "I've also set up a bookshop and school supply store next to a secondary school. You'll run it. I'll cover the first year's expenses. You love education. Let's put that love to work again." Musa's hands trembled. For the first time in years, his tears were not from pain but from hope. Over the following weeks, Musa's life transformed. He ran the store with care. Students came daily for pens, notebooks, and textbooks. Some lingered to ask questions about their studies. Musa welcomed each one. "You can't just memorize," he told a boy struggling with math. "Understand the steps, and the answer will follow." Word spread. People began greeting him again, not as a beggar, but as Mr. Musa, a man who had risen from nothing. One Saturday, as he arranged books, a familiar voice startled him. "Musa!" He turned. Standing at the doorway was Stella, his ex-wife. Her fine jewelry was gone, her clothes plain. Beside her sat a small suitcase. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. "Outside," Musa said firmly. Her eyes filled with tears. "He left me. The man I chose over you. He sold our house, emptied my account, and ran away with another woman. I've lost everything." She looked at him desperately. "I'm sorry. I have nowhere to go. Could I stay? Just for a while?" Musa studied her for a long moment. Memories of betrayal pressed heavily against his chest. "Stella," he said calmly, "I forgave you long ago, but I've moved on. My life is peaceful now. You chose your path. I've chosen mine." Her shoulders sagged. "Please, even just a room." "I wish you well," Musa said, his voice steady. "But this is not your home." He turned and walked back inside, his heart pounding. That night, he called Ibrahim. "She came back," he said simply. "And I told her no." On the other end, Ibrahim's smile was audible. "I'm proud of you. You've regained your dignity." Life settled into rhythm. The shop thrived. Musa became more than a shopkeeper. He was a mentor, a guide, almost a father figure to many. One morning, a woman in a simple blue dress entered. Her smile was warm, her eyes bright. "Good morning," she said. "Do you have senior school math textbooks?" "Yes," Musa replied, leading her to the shelf. As he wrapped her purchase, she studied him. "I've seen you before." You help children who can't afford supplies. They remind me of who I used to be, Musa said with a small smile. She extended her hand. I'm Grace. I teach at the school nearby. Musa, I own this shop. Her brows lifted. That's wonderful. This place feels so welcoming. We need more people like you. Their conversations grew frequent. She would stop by for supplies, sometimes just to say hello. They shared meals, laughter, and eventually stories of loss. Grace was a widow, raising her daughter Rachel alone. One evening, as the sunset bathed the sky in gold, she told him, "You're stronger than you realize, Musa. You walked through fire and still chose kindness. That is true strength." His heart stirred in ways he had long thought impossible. Weeks later, Musa proposed to Grace in a quiet garden, Rachel at her side. "I have little to offer," he said, kneeling. "But I can give you peace, respect, and love. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down her face. "Yes, Musa. 1,000 times yes." Their wedding was small, yet filled with joy. Among the guests was Ibrahim, smiling proudly at his friend who had found peace again. Months passed. Musa's life overflowed with joy. A wife who cherished him, a daughter who adored him, a thriving business, and a warm home. But he didn't stop there. He founded an organization to help men who had lost everything, offering shelter, training, and business opportunities. "I was once in your place," he told the first group. "A friend changed my story. Now I want to change yours." His foundation helped dozens start anew, as mechanics, barbers, shopkeepers. Hope returned to lives once shattered. 1 year later, Ibrahim invited Musa to speak at the National Youth Conference. Dressed in a neat gray suit, Musa walked onto the stage. The applause was warm but respectful. He adjusted the microphone. "I was a man who lost everything," he began. "Not because I was lazy, but because I trusted the wrong person. My wife and her lover took everything. I was mocked, broken, left with nothing but shame. But one hot afternoon, as I sat hungry on the roadside, a man I once helped found me. He didn't pity me. He lifted me up. He reminded me that broken lives can still be rebuilt." The hall fell silent. "Today, I carry no anger. The best revenge is peace, joy, and moving forward. No matter how bad it gets, your story can change if you don't give up." The audience erupted in applause. That night, Musa sat with Grace and Rachel in their garden, watching the stars. Grace asked, "Do you ever think about her? About Stella?" "Not with anger," Musa replied. "I only wonder how someone can throw away gold and pick up sand." Grace laughed softly. Musa pulled her close. "She lost a good man, and I gained a queen." Far away, Stella sat alone in a rented room. The man she had chosen had taken everything and left her in debt. The house she stole was gone. She worked in a small restaurant, scrolling through photos of Musa online. His family, his foundation, his joy. The man she thought would be nothing without her had become far more than she ever imagined. Without her. Meanwhile, Musa's foundation flourished. His story touched countless lives. And when Ibrahim later awarded him a Medal of Honor for his service, Musa embraced him with gratitude. "You didn't just change my life," he said. "You gave me the chance to change others." "That," Ibrahim replied, "is the power of one hand lifted in kindness." Musa gazed at the night sky, his heart full. Who would have thought that the beggar on the street would one day be a man of influence, love, and hope? The past was gone. The future was bright. And no one could take it away. Because no matter how far you fall, one act of kindness can spark the climb back to hope. And the choice to rise is always yours.